Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. It's Saturday. We're going to talk about some books today. You can see that I got 4 books. Workouts from Boxing's Greatest Champs, Live It, Not Diet, Garfield Eats Crow, and Nightfall. So those are the 4 books that I'm going to talk about a little bit today. I've finished all of those recently. I have a couple safety books that I finished. One a few weeks ago that I forgot to put in. So I think next week I'm going to special edition and just talk more about the safety books. I didn't include them this week, but we got these 4 coming up. Hope everybody is enjoying their beginning of the weekend. I got my book mug here, and I just want to encourage you to read. I share books that I have recently finished to motivate you to read more. Maybe you see something I share that you want to read. Wonderful. If not, read something that you enjoy. Read something about something you want to learn about. That's what books are for, right? They're for education. They're for enjoyment. So get out and read. Read the newsletter, enjoylifesafely.com. You can get it by downloading one or more of the free guides at the website. You should be reading those. Give you some safety tips. Give you some information on how to get back up when life knocks you down, give you some self-defense tips. All of that's available for free. You can get that free newsletter, enjoylifesafely.com. So let's look at some books today. First one, let's look at Workouts from Boxing's Greatest Champs, including Muhammad Ali and a few others. And there were only a couple greats that I knew about. A lot of them I didn't know. And the book, it was okay. It starts out a little bit about the author's journey. And then the chapters, you have each fighter and you have a page of questions. And the questions are like, what time do you get up? Do you stretch before you run? How far did you run? What did you do after your run? What did you eat for breakfast? What did you do after breakfast? What time did you go to the gym? What time did you leave the gym? What did you do after training? What did you eat for dinner? What did you do after dinner? What time did you go to bed? What was your favorite exercise? How many days a week do you train? Did you have a job before you won a world title? Those are the same questions for each person. And then, there's pictures. And then there's a brief little what they do in the gym for their workout. And that was the format of the entire book. So it was okay. Interesting to see what the folks did, similar, differently, but not the greatest book for workouts and so forth. But it was okay, interesting little quick read. And so I'm going to trade that one off now. Next book, Live It, Not Diet by Mike Sheridan. And a couple weeks ago, I talked about his other book about... I forgot even the name of the title. It was the one that he's very into eating meat, not jogging type. That was his first book. And then this one came out. And it's okay if you want to just eat a very high protein meat type diet and fat diet, almost Atkins-like. So I don't really totally agree with him on a lot of stuff. And he has some studies, but I'm really not going to follow his recommendations from this book. Like I said, that other book, it's sort of Atkins type. He says you don't want to do a lot of cardio, and he does, don't count calories, but he's very into the heavy meat and so forth, like the Atkins. Yeah, I understand going into ketosis can help you lose weight and stuff, but I personally, out of all the books that I read about health and fitness, don't find this particular strategy to be the most healthy for longer life and something that I want to follow. Some of the stuff in here is accurate, but some of it I just don't agree with and won't follow. So, like Jim Rohn said, read a variety of books on health and fitness, figure out what works best for you. I'm trading this one and his other one off, and just weren't the advice or weren't the things that I'm going to follow. So that's what I thought about Live It, Not Diet. Next book was thrown in just for fun. I had a whole bunch of Garfield books, and I think this was the last one I had on the shelf. And I like Garfield. They're fun to read, just to throw in as a little lightheartedness. Enjoyed it. So I like Garfield. And again, it's the last one I had on the shelf. This one was cool because it's full color. Some of the ones you get are black and white, but this was a full color. If you like Garfield, these are fun. It's his 39th collection of books. I mean, Jim Davis was writing Garfield for a long time, so there's a lot of these collections that you can find. So did like that. And then one of the recent novels that I finished was Nightfall by Nelson DeMille. Fantastic author, has written some great books. This one, not my favorite of his. I mean, it was well written. It was interesting. You have a couple that are having sex on the beach and filming it, and they're not married to each other. They're married to other people. So this is a secret rendezvous thing but they are filming it, and they happen to catch a plane crash on the film. 5 years later, there's some people that are investigating this plane crash because they think something different happened than what was told to American public. And so they're investigating, and they want to find this video and this couple with the video. And there's other people that don't want them to find that and release the truth and so forth. So that's the bulk of the book. So I was enjoying it. And the ending, it did catch me by surprise, but I thought it was sort of a weak ending. And I don't want to give the spoiler, but it was just, you read the whole book and it's getting down to like, okay, what's going to happen? And then something completely different goes on, and boom, and it's over. And, if you want the spoiler, write me. I'll tell you. Again, I don't like to give the spoilers for people that might want to go read this. It just, that ending didn't do it for me. And I thought it was I don't want to say cheap, but for the whole buildup and everything that went before it, it was sort of a letdown a little bit, the ending. And so while he's a great author, and I've really enjoyed some of his other stuff, and I have more books by him on the shelf that I'm going to read, this one didn't do it for me as much because I felt that end was sort of a letdown and maybe a cop out, an easy way out or something. I don't know. And part of it is because the actual plane crash that they're writing about was a true plane crash. And so he's writing about something that really happened. And then he finished it with something that really happened. So I get that, but I don't know. Just didn't do it for me as well. But it was interesting, and it did catch me off guard. I wasn't expecting the ending until I sort of guessed it right before it happened. And so that's what I have to say about Nelson DeMille's Nightfall without ruining it for people that want to read it. So those are the 4 books this week. Thad said good morning. Want to say good morning to Thad. Appreciate you being here. Dixon said Garfield is the bomb. Yep, Garfield's fun. Garfield is fun to read. Those were the books this week. Probably Garfield was my favorite of those 4. The boxing workouts just didn't do it for me as much. The diet, no, because I'm not really into the Atkins type of diet as much. I don't think that's the healthiest way. The Nightfall fell a little bit short for his other books. So Garfield was definitely the best book this week that I enjoyed. Next week, I think I'll have a couple that are more safety, self-defense, security oriented, because I got a couple that I finished a few weeks ago and forgot to share it. The other one I just finished yesterday. So I'm going to put those next week for sure. Hope everybody makes it a spectacular Saturday. Read more. Read the newsletter. You can get that at enjoylifesafely.com. Be sure to check out the book page, the courses, the different things there as well. I will be back to see you tomorrow, and we're going to talk about Epic, Elvis Presley in concert. Wife and I saw that last night. We enjoyed it, but we did think it was a little bit sad too, just thinking about how Elvis passed away at 42 years old. And such talent that left way too soon. But the way they edited and put Epic together, Elvis Presley in concert, they did a good job. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow.